Someone breaking into your workshop could destroy your entire business, and since I'm more than a bit paranoid, today I'm going to install this new desloc D110 Plus Smart Lock. Of course, it provides great security, but what really blows me away is that it doesn't just use a regular key, it also supports a smartphone app, provides proximity tags and a fingerprint scanner, and it even offers this amazing touchpad display for code entry. But is it really as secure and easy as desloc claims? Well, I want to increase the security of my workshop, so let's find out. So if you have a workshop, maybe you've got a laser or two, a CNC, maybe a table saw or some other power tools, it doesn't take very long to rack up thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And all that's really protecting it is whatever lock you have on your door. Now, in my case, that was a 20-year-old deadbolt, so I want to replace it. And while I was at it, I wanted to put on a smart deadbolt, so I picked up one of these D110 Plus smart deadbolts from desloc. Now, just before I dive in too deep, there's a few things I wanted to talk about here as far as high-level features. First of all, this lock has a level 3 certification from the Builders Hardware Manufacturing Association. Go Google that if you want to find out more. Installation is trivial, takes about 10 minutes, and I'll show you that. Now, there's two ways to configure this. You can use the keypad on the lock itself and the display that's there, and you can do all of the configuration you need. Or you can use the second method, which is the one I'm going to use, where I configure Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and then I use the desloc smartphone app, and I'll show you bits and pieces of that as well. And finally, there's a few ways to unlock this lock. You've got standard keys, you've got proximity cards, two of those. You've got a keypad, you can enter codes and you can set up 100 of those, or you can use your fingers and set up 50 sets of fingerprints if you want. So that's enough to get going, and let's dive in. I don't normally do unboxings, but I did have to take things out of the box here, so I'll show you what was in there. And first thing, of course, is a user manual, which is quite helpful. The template card for installing the lock on a new door. Mine was already done, so I didn't have to worry. There's a set of keys, the two proximity tags, all of the gear for the deadbolt and the striker, the mounting hardware. Then there's the internal part of the deadbolt, which has the batteries in it, and then the external part, which has the key and the touchpad and the fingerprint scanner. So that's really all there is. And we'll get it installed. It takes almost no time to install, and you'll see how easy this is. First thing to do is remove the existing hardware, but then you need to adjust the deadbolt so that it hits the center of the hole through the face of the door. Slide it back into the existing hole that was there, screw it down with a couple of short screws, and then you can put on the lock assembly itself. So we'll start with the external, and that flat paddle that sticks out has to go into the slot on the deadbolt. And then on the inside, we'll mount the plate that holds the external piece on and provides also a mounting for the internal piece. So screw that in, then plug in the external side of the lock to the internal side, because the internal side is where the batteries are. Tuck the extra cable in so it doesn't jam, and put the internal piece on. And then there's 3 screws that screw into that plate on the back. And really, that's all there is from a hardware perspective. Now, on the striker side, you can see the new striker is a bit bigger than what I had. And I just decided that I'm going to leave the existing striker there rather than try and do a whole bunch of cutting to get the new one in there. And it turned out fine. So if you have this opportunity or this requirement, you can do the same thing. With the installation complete, now I can configure the lock. And there's 2 ways to do that. The first way is in standalone mode, which involves using the navigation and application built into the lock itself, so you can navigate with the numeric keypad and use the display up above to see what you actually need to do next. And I'll do that first here. I'll show you. So you're going to enter the default PIN for the lock, which is digits 1 through 8. Then you're going to use the keypad to enter your name. This is the name of the first admin user. So I'll put my name in there, and then I can enter my own PIN number. This is the PIN I'm going to use if I use the keypad to unlock the door. And at that point, the lock is basically set up. So now I can go into the navigation and I can look at all the settings that I can do. So I can add users, delete users, do all the setup. I can reset the lock. And that's really all there is to standalone mode. The hardest part is entering your name. The rest of it is pretty simple, and you can do all of the functions that you need to do right from the lock. The next method is the one I'm going to use, which is the mobile phone app. And you scan a QR code on the back of the user manual and you can install the app on your phone. Then you can go into discovery mode to find the lock. And that's just a case of scanning a QR code. That QR code is on the inside of the battery panel. And you scan that and it'll go over Bluetooth and find the lock. And when you get there, it'll run a bunch of basic configuration. And now I can enter my own PIN code, and I'll actually turn on so you can see what I'm entering here. So I'll just enter some bogus code for now, 224466. And when I'm ready, I can hit the done button and it's going to go set the lock up. Now I'm going to add this lock to my Wi-Fi network, and I won't bore you with me typing my secret password. So it's there. And really, that's all you need to do. And now I can go test it and make sure that it works. So it's currently locked. I'll do a long press on that lock button, and it'll go off and run the lock and unlock it. And now I can just go and change maybe some users or user access, maybe some settings. So I'll first go into assign access, and you'll see that there's already a user there. That's the one that got created by default. And I'll just go in there and edit and put my name in there. It's definitely easier to edit your name on a phone than it is from a phone keypad. So I'll do that. Now I can go and start adding device access. So I could go add a new PIN code if I wanted to have multiple codes for some reason. I'm going to go and add some fingerprints. So this is just a case of you start a process and then you go over to the lock and you basically put whatever finger you want to scan on the fingerprint scanner 6 times. The light will turn green and you can go back, and now the fingerprint has been registered. You can go select which finger it is. Next, I'll do a card, the proximity card. And again, it's just push the start for the process, go over and hold the card on the lock until it beeps. And with that, you have a fully configured user. Now, it doesn't stop there because you can have up to 100 users configured. So if this lock is on your house, you can have every person in your house can have a PIN code. Or if it's on a business, you can give a PIN code or an access card to all of your employees. And it goes even further than that. You can have single use codes. So maybe you have a contractor coming in and you want them to use the code once to get in, and that's it. But you also get things like logging when you're running the mobile app, and that keeps track of things like time of day. So you can say, I want my employees to have access from 6 in the morning to 5 at night. And then there's also logging, so I can see who unlocked the door at any given time. And that's all quite powerful. It is very flexible. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this desloc D110 Plus. I know this isn't kind of the normal thing I would review on this channel, but security of your workshop or even your house is definitely important. And I certainly feel now that my workshop is more secure. And I'll put an affiliate link in the description down below if you're interested in picking one of these up. I saved the best part for the last, though. The price of this lock is under $100 US, so it's definitely a deal, and you certainly can't beat that price. And with that, I'll wind down. I'll say get out there, make your world, and I'll see you next time.